Chesapeake Today Show. It's your executive director, David Loop.
And Candace Montgomery, Life Enrichment Director.
Candace, beautiful colors.
Thanks.
I mean, you always look so professional, but just you have this fashion flair and this look. So again, as I've been told many times, my presence is not as attractive as others. I jokingly said this. We had last week a resident advisory committee, which had like 50 residents.
Oh my gosh.
Across the state, and then you had leadership from both home office and the communities, and it's all about transparency and it's a presentation to understand where we are financially, et cetera. Well, the residents also participate in question and answer.
Yeah.
Well, Travers Mayhew took the opportunity not to ask a question, but because he knew there were representatives from all communities, including probably a dozen Summit residents, Travers said, "Summit, thank you so very much for the trip."
Aww,
he acknowledged it in front of everyone. He said, "They've got beautiful colleges, and they're even getting golf carts."
Oh.
And so he was talking about that. So there's always this little competitiveness.
That's so nice,
but
though.
he referenced that. He said thank you on our behalf because they were treated like kings and queens.
Aww.
So just so the two of you know and residents know, it was neat for Travers to use that for 50 residents and leaders to hear all of that.
That's so
So
awesome.
anyway, so that's number one. Second part of it, back to appearance.
Yeah.
I said, well, Travers, one thing you didn't say was between yourself and Pete Zemmer, you made me quickly be known that the Summit executive director is a lot more attractive than the Chesapeake one.
She happens to be a lady.
Yeah. And then, of course, Jonathan Cook says, well, Mr. Obvious, Loop, yeah, we all know that.
Right.
So the fun was talking about that, and it brought to light in front of all those people about the trip you all
That's
did.
awesome. That makes me really happy to hear that.
So anyways, just little,
That's
you never heard that,
good.
and here's an impromptu feedback, but
That's
cool story.
awesome.
So,
cool.
so yeah, we had that advisory last week, and again, it happens quarterly. Jim Lewis and myself, identify residents who really have, just for an interest, perhaps a career background in finance and investments and management, where they want to learn more, and then they become individuals you can speak with. So whether it is Travers Mayhew or Jim Lewis or Rex or Cindy Hogan or Jess Hughes or Bob Edwards or Susan Morris or Faye Mayberry, these are the folks sitting in that room learning more about Chesapeake and Lifespire finances. And if you ever have a question, are we well run? Are we financially sound? And one of the things that was brought up last week was, in the last couple months, there's been a significant storyline from the New York area where a retirement community went bankrupt. And there was over $170 million worth of entrance fees that may not be paid back.
Oh, wow.
And what's interesting about all of that was it had a lot to do with the government, because there was an organization wanting to step in and make good on those entrance fees, and the New York government got in its way, wouldn't allow the acquisition.
Oh, gosh.
It's still news, and it's still something that some of you may hear about from an acquaintance or a family member in New York and say, hey, mom, dad, sister, this happened in New York. Well, we're very well run. We have great oversight by our board. We have bond rating. We have the high occupancy. And a big part of this New York community, they ran like a 50% occupancy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It struggled since 2009, the housing issue, and they've never, ever got righted.
Wow.
So, anyways, resident advisory meets quarterly. It's invited residents learning more about our finances, but it's just a great transparency. And just anytime you have a curiosity, talk to those I just mentioned, you can come to me. And remember, Lifespire and Chesapeake's financials are posted on the internet, available for anyone to see. And that's extraordinary that we do that. So, again, just a little side, but that's last week and that.
Yeah.
So, moon pies and cola?
Yeah, moon pies and RC cola. It's a Southern tradition.
So, all right, now, where did it come from?
So started in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is amazing because they do have freestanding moon pie stores there that you can just go in and have. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy flavors of moon pies. We had just the most popular, which is the vanilla, chocolate, and banana. But I mean, you can get peanut butter flavors, all kinds of random flavors nowadays. They're still a big hit.
And I think we heard the story that it was miners in that area
Yeah.
between Tennessee and Kentucky,
Kentucky, yeah.
and they wanted snacks. They wanted foods they could carry, and somebody said, "Well, I want a cookie or a snack as big as a moon."
As big as the moon, yeah. Which it's Moon Day too. So that was kind of how we started introducing moon pie was with Moon Day. So
Moon
that's
Day.
an interesting kind of connection, isn't
Yeah.
it? 1917, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's way back.
Yeah.
So interesting. Growing up, what did you enjoy? What was that type of, foods or snacks or things, whether you packed in your lunch or whatever? What did you enjoy?
I think it was a Nutty Buddy. I mean, I love peanut butter and chocolate type stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably my go-to, which is still a popular one these
Yeah.
days. I mean, I remember having a moon pie, but that wasn't really. I think
Yeah.
they've become more popular with all the flavors. But what about you?
Yeah. So I remember packing lunches Hostess.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Hostess, first of all, probably my favorite is the chocolate cupcake that had
Oh,
the
had
white
the little-
cream and
yeah.
had the little drizzle on top.
What's the name of that?
Oh my
Is it
gosh!
just a Hostess
If I
cake?
could ever, and then there were
Yeah.
ho-hos and ding dongs.
Oh, yeah.
If ever I was given a couple dollars to go to the grocery store and be able to buy that, which
Yeah.
usually was like, no, we don't have the money for that. Mom's going to make some cookies. If you get a cookie, you're good.
Right.
But boy, if I could ever get those, that was it.
That was it.
I was more into the chocolate than the Twinkies.
Yeah, Twinkies. I just don't like Twinkies, to
And,
be honest with
and
you.
with moon pies and then Little Debbie's. I remember Little Debbie was a big popular one.
Oh gosh, Little Debbie's. I mean, in our household, when the Christmas tree cakes come out, boxes of those appear
and
in the
I-
pantry.
And I don't know I would have to believe though things like a moon pie that then became
Yeah.
it probably set up for these things we're
Oh,
speaking about
yeah,
in the
it
generations
must have, yeah.
between my generation and your generation and us being raised.
But
yeah.
those are all still popular things. Like
Yeah.
you still see all of those things in the grocery store. The Hostess
Yeah.
cakes, all of those are still around with different new versions. But yeah, they're still popular. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
So RC Cola. Do you know what RC stands for?
Is it Royal Crown?
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think
so.
that's and we think about the histories of colas, and I don't know where it was pretty close. I think between Coca-Cola, it may have been even before Pepsi, and
I think
about
so.
some of those things.
Yeah, I think so.
So I remember growing up, and we did have a Pepsi bottler in Chillicothe, but some reason I remember about RC, and it had a good flavor. It just didn't have it often.
You know, I think it's because they originated, if I'm not mistaken, I think West Virginia might have been where, so that would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't stand out to me, but apparently it is a Southern
Yeah.
tradition with the moon pie specifically.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And the fact that it's still around. I mean, given the billions, trillions of dollars you see in Pepsi or Coca-Cola commercials,
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing RC
No.
Cola commercials.
But it is hard to come by, I will tell you.
Really?
It's really not, you can't just go to the grocery store and get it. You've got to go to one of those, like, kind of commercial kitchen stores. Like, you've got to go somewhere like that to get it's like a specialty soda,
Okay.
I would say now. So
Yeah.
it's, like, not something that you can just go out and you don't see it in the store.
Yeah.
Because there is so many variations of things now.
Yeah.
It's always the Coke and Pepsi rival, you know.
That's cool. Well,
So.
again, the event happened.
Mhm.
It's one of those initiatives that you all planned where it's not just residents, but team members were involved.
Yeah.
And so, again, need to talk about that, but that was another
is, and it's
occurrence.
just one of those fun things that we just randomly introduced several years back, and it's something that residents really look forward to.
Yeah.
And I think it's that nostalgia with it. I mean, every time we have that event, folks, as soon as they bite into one, they have stories that they're sharing and memories that come back of, oh man, I remember doing this, and it's just fun. And it's always funny to me. We always have the mini ones because you can get more into different
As big as
flavors.
the moon.
Yeah, but folks are like, man, these are so much smaller than they used to be.
That was the other thing I was thinking
They
about.
didn't shrink.
When we were talking about it being the size of the moon, like everything,
they are
it's
massive.
like, how have they still shrunk over the years or not?
Or not. The minis are just a popular thing nowadays, I would say. But no, they still have the big ones. But the big ones they're big. Like they're a
Yeah.
lot. And I would imagine our residents, especially the time of day that we offer it, they might not want something that quite that big. But
So, I just, as soon as you're sharing about the several years now in this
Yeah.
tradition and people enjoying it,
it's
and then I
fun.
just think about us talking a week or so ago, a couple weeks back, where in assisted living, that tradition of the tomato,
Oh, I know the
sandwich.
tomato sandwiches. Yeah,
and that's a little different. I can honestly say I like tomato on sandwiches,
Yeah.
but I don't often do
it sounds a little soggy.
Yeah.
But it's popular. It's a thing, and I know Cindy's been doing that for gosh, as long as I've been here. I know that that's been happening.
Yeah.
So
And something that I'm not going to fully tip the knowledge on this or spoil the secret, but I think you and Kurt are revising and thinking of a new tradition in place of Lobster Fest.
yes, it's in the talks.
So
yeah.
that, but for those of you, and again, I'm sure we'll have wonderful food, etc.
Yeah, oh,
So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think Kurt's whole interest is to wow you, but I
Mm-hmm.
also know that he and Julian are looking at adding a special signature dish of lobster 4 times a year.
Oh,
So
okay.
that even though we may not have that exact same Lobster Fest, and Kurt has a whole new
Yeah.
vision that you all embrace and plan, that
Mhm.
it still. So I'm just sort of getting that teaser out
Yeah,
there.
that's
So
good.
if any of you react, well, we love lobster.
Mhm.
Trust me, you're going to see it now 4 times a year,
Yeah.
but there's still this special event yet to
Yeah.
be announced.
And over time too, you have to change and adapt, and everyone, a new person's going to want to put their spin on things. So yeah, I understand that completely. But it's good that you're already putting that out there, so you're
Yeah.
helping us to go ahead and
Yeah.
say. Because I'm sure some folks are like, we've always done this, and when you make change is always
Yeah.
hard. So
Well, and I think if one, you have lobster more often.
Yeah.
Two, maybe the lobster's a little bit easier, even though it's fun.
Mhm.
But boy, those lobster fests
it's a
are
lot
messy
of work.
and a lot of
It's a lot
and that
of
thing
work.
staring at you. What happens
Yeah.
if you just enjoy a nice lobster tail or claws, and it's a little bit
Mhm.
different presentation, easy to eat. It will still be
Yeah.
great food. So another option.
And I know we were going to plant a seed too about the groundbreaking as
Yeah.
well, because that's occurring at the end of the month that Courtney's working so diligently to
Yeah.
put together.
And the groundbreaking you're referring to
Yeah.
is for the pavilion.
Mm-hmm.
And just to add to that, you'll be talking this week about occurrences, and we will have town hall.
Right.
So again, we'll just step into that for one moment.
Mhm.
At the town hall meeting this week, it will be a little abbreviated. We're not going to maybe have all our same speakers
Mhm.
because we're trying to figure out how to present to the rest of the residents
Mhm.
who would like to learn about the pavilion, its timeline, what it will include, etc. And I say the rest of the residents because, as a courtesy to the Gloucester residents a week or so ago, we met just to update them. It's in their backyard, it's in their neighborhood, it's going to be disruptive. There's a tree coming down. So, if you want to learn about some of that, that will be at Town Hall this week. And you'll see a presentation. We did send that out via email.
Mhm.
If you don't get email, you may want to come to Town Hall and get a printed copy of the timeline and what will occur.
Mhm.
So that's the pavilion.
That's good. Yeah.
Now, on the 30th
Mhm.
will be a groundbreaking for the pavilion.
Correct.
So it's happening out in
Yeah.
the current area,
Mm-hmm.
but the current area only has the limited sidewalk and then our very thick thatched grass.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you all know, we're inviting the few neighbors there.
Mhm.
There'll be a couple of us more for a photo opportunity. It's not a big event. We're not inviting really everyone because there's no place to sit.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 11 o'clock, could be warm. We want to be short and sweet, 15 minutes. And more importantly, when you come out, you really almost have to stay on the sidewalk out there because of that grass.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just being communicative with you and letting you know in advance, don't be offended if we didn't put a big, broad invitation. I think we will guarantee them that when you and the
Oh, most
team
definitely,
plan
yes.
for that dedication,
Yes.
when we have the pavilion complete in a number of months,
Yeah.
that yes, everybody can be invited, and
Yes.
yes, there's a safe place to stand, and yes, it's
Seating and
user
different
friendly,
things,
and it's
yes.
all level and even.
Yeah.
So look ahead to the dedication, but for this groundbreaking, more of a photo op.
Yeah.
So thanks for understanding that.
Yeah, I think this is the perfect opportunity to just go ahead and say that, because a lot of folks might say, hey, why wasn't this advertised, and different things like that, but there's always a method to the madness,
Yep.
So you kind of led with town hall being this week, but starting out on Monday, we do have our regular shopping, leaving at 1:30 from the Hampton entrance. 2 p.m. Color Your Life craft class with Donna and the Creative Art Studio, which they have really put together some fun things this summer. Nautical influences and little lighted jars that they can have outside their doors, just different stuff. She's really, really great at leading that class. Hand chimes at 7 p.m. in the Chesapeake Room. On the 22nd at 2 p.m., we've got a group of folks going to Play Around Fun Center, which is Putt Putt in Yorktown. That's always a good time, leaving from the Hampton entrance. 2:30 we have line dancing in the Chesapeake Room, and I think a certain executive director has a travelogue that afternoon or evening, I should say, at 7 p.m. Where are you taking them to?
Going to take them to the Rhine River region.
Okay.
We'll be crossing through 4 different countries.
Wow.
And I will share with you that the chef's delicacy that he will be providing is a sweet ending. You know, the real reason you
saw
come
that.
is a dessert item from Switzerland. So that's sort of where I'll start you at. But I'll take you, I say, up the Rhine River. You're really going downstream, but the Rhine River flows north. Confused yet? And one section of it, around 25 castles. So I'll be sharing with you quite a few of these pictures of castles, and one that Vera and I toured. She, of course, wanted to lock me in the dungeon where the torture room was, but I did break out.
You escaped.
Yeah, I escaped. But
You
yeah,
survived.
like, David, you can stay there. So it was all fun. But
Wow.
looking forward to just sharing that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a journey. And I saw Julian's little sneak peek of what it will be. It was fascinating reading that description. And it's interesting how he comes up with, because you've got this space, and then it's like, all right, he gets to kind of do his creativity with whatever it's going to be.
Well, and on this specific experience going up the Rhine, you go through 4 countries. So I said, hey, Julian, I'm going to give you 4 different possibilities. He said, great, got one.
Yeah,
and
that's
he
amazing.
picked one of them.
It's a lot of creativity there.
Yeah.
So that'll be a good time for sure. Then the 23rd, we have basic and intermediate German class at 3 p.m. in the Explorer Room. 7 p.m. movie entitled Rear Window in the Explorer Room. On Thursday, 9 a.m. going to Wegmans, leaving from the Hampton entrance. That's in Virginia Beach. Folks really like exploring that store just because it's such a unique experience in and of itself.
Do we take any groups to IKEA? Because
We
that's
have not done
another. Because you
IKEA.
think about there.
That would be
'cause,
good.
You know,
It's
because
air conditioning and everything.
and
So.
if they want to bring me home a cinnamon roll, that's okay. But they can
Are
go.
their cinnamon rolls good?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know that I've eaten in their
Okay,
little
so
cafe.
they have it's a big place. It's up on
Isaiah's
the 3rd
nodding
floor.
his head, so he must know
They've
about
got
the secret.
they have their Swedish meatballs. They've
Really?
got they've got a fish item.
They have a
lot
nice
of,
cafe. I've
it's
just
a
never
beautiful
stayed
cafe.
and ate.
So you can go up have the cafe,
Oh.
and then they have like on the way out. It's you can get the cinnamon rolls and other things to take out.
Wow. Well, we may have to plan that. That might be a nice little, because that's a fun place to just explore and just. I always love seeing how they put the rooms together and they put the paint color up. It's just so intentional with all the little details, so there's no guesswork of I want this exact room planted in my house, and here's the paint color and everything. So it's really cool. But that's a great idea. We'll have to add that to the calendar. That's fun. And it's a good walking trip too. Like if folks just want to get active and
or play in their class elevator. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
Because they have that in the middle of it.
You're right. They
so
do.
they have that
I forgot
and
about
their
that.
escalators. So
yeah, I was about to say I always
very
take the escalator,
user-friendly.
but
And you know what else is really interesting? And it could even be something that take a trip of future residents, because IKEA is also very smart in space management.
oh my gosh.
And you think about, maybe you and Courtney, you create a program of some future residents and just take a sneak peek of how do they efficiently, because, it's just, I know there's things we have in our home from IKEA.
Oh yeah.
And
oh my
no matter who
gosh.
you are, it's just like, wow, these are some smart things.
And they have little gadgets and things too. Like just it's fun to look through there. You might need something random that they would have. So that's happening in the morning, and then 9:30 is the Catholic prayer service in the Harbor Room. Town Hall at 2 p.m. and then we do have the Doorway Singers for our birthday bash at 7 p.m. Which I love that we utilize those folks throughout the year and not just at Christmas, because they are so well versatile with their genres and things.
How often do they change talent? Because I imagine they use the name, because you probably, as you booked them and worked with them, do you see some changing faces?
Yeah.
And they originate from Williamsburg, or where?
To my knowledge, I think so. Williamsburg,
Well, it's neat that they perpetuated it, regardless if it's been a different voice or whatever.
Right.
And for you to, like you said, to use them year round.
Right, I know.
Very neat.
And then moving into Friday, we do have a Zumba at 10:15 a.m. in the aerobic studio, which has really been quite popular. We've brought that back, and we've seen folks really taking part consistently in that. 11:30 a.m. lunch trip to Bull Island Brewery and Restaurant. I want to say that's downtown Hampton, leaving from the Hampton entrance. And then 1 p.m. doing a pool party. They're breaking out the water volleyball again and seeing. You want to get out there and play?
Well, I will. I'll let you and Jenny Smith spike each other.
I know,
I'll let
we
the
get
two
very
of you.
competitive.
So
oh my gosh.
as long as I just stay away from your rockets, I'm okay.
I
So,
know. I remember that was so much fun. That's still one of those really fond Chesapeake memories that I have of playing water volleyball out there. And you
yeah,
came down the stairs. And I think everyone was shocked that you were playing. I was playing. We had a housekeeper play, and we had everyone on the pool deck. I mean, that was fun. That
yeah,
was a good time.
yeah.
So I'm glad to see that Caitlin and Grace are trying to bring that back again, and they'll have some fun snacks and good music and all kinds of good stuff like that. And then moving into Saturday, we have the 1:30 p.m. decorative painting class in the Creative Art Studio, and then we have a movie that evening at 7 p.m. Rooster Cogborn in the Explorer Room. It sounds like
It's a
that
John
might be
Wayne
a. Is it
movie.
John Wayne? Okay, I was like, it sounds like a cowboy movie,
See,
but
but also there is a cartoon character of similar name.
really
He was a rooster, and it was and yeah. So that's
interesting.
residents will have to think about that one. But yeah,
Matthew does a very good job of switching up from old to new, and residents really love it. Like, he has such a perfect mix, because I know he's been putting in James Bond movies lately and all kinds of different stuff. So cowboy movies,
yeah,
it's fun to see folks get entertained by that. So
yeah.
a full week.
Very nice.
And I'll put a plug here too. So next week we'll be moving into the Sizzlin' Summer Sale. So some folks have been asking, and there have been several emails that have gone out. So on the calendar on the 30th, that's your drop-off day. From 9 to noon, 1, drop your things off to Chesapeake Room.
And again, explain again, what is this sizzling?
Sizzlin' Summer Sale is you can donate your gently used items. We've put lists out of its clothing, its small appliances, its books. If it is any puzzles or toys or things of that nature, they do need to be new, or all the pieces need to be there, so we have to ensure that. So you'll be dropping those items off. You'll receive kind of an in-kind donation form, and we'll handle sorting, pricing, and all of that nature. So on the 30th, 9 till like 12 or 1, you can drop your items off. Then we've got a team of residents that are really excited about pricing and sorting that afternoon, who are and Jody and Laura are going to be here, and the whole Chesapeake Room for 3 days will be ours to house everything. And then whatever is left over, we're donating to the Peninsula Rescue Mission, which my hope is that we won't have a lot of things left over, but I do imagine we'll have a lot of clothes. That's what I'm hearing most folks are wanting to purge. But residents have gotten really excited about this. They're like, man, I've been holding on to this one thing for so long, and now I can turn it over to you guys.
So on one hand, it would be delightful if we could declutter. My prediction is weight just shifts around the building. It goes from here to here to here to here.
I know.
But that's fun too.
Yeah. And, I've encouraged folks like Tiffany and Kurt and those of us that have storage cages to purge. Like, this is your time to, because there might be something that a team member could utilize. I mean, I know in ours we've got a few little random Christmas things that we're going to be putting in there that were from forever ago that we just don't utilize anymore. So, yeah, that's really an opportunity for us, too, to purge and say, here's, just an opportunity for folks to be able to shop. I have had a few residents ask, hey, if my daughter-in-law is here, can they shop? Yes. We're not publicizing. It's not going on social media. That's open to the public. But if a resident has
Chesapeake
a family, Chesapeake family, if they've got someone here, that's fine. So I've had a few folks one-off ask that. It's like, yes, they're more than happy to come. I mean, Miss Furman, her daughter, wants to come help sort because they used to do yard sales every summer, and they just love organizing and pricing. I'm like, yeah, that's great. This is a great opportunity for folks to come together. And
so is Kurt going to have a Kool-Aid stand?
I mean, he should, right?
Lemonade
that
stand?
would be funny.
That's what I remember doing when Mom or Dad would do a garage sale or a sale.
That would actually be really cute. Just lemonade is like 25 cents. We can have him make a little sign. He could have Charlie Brown out there.
Yeah. And if you happen to have any moon pies left over from that event.
I know.
Yeah, but anyways, what fun.
I know. So I'm looking forward to that. It's
so
going to be
Sizzling Summer Sale on what date?
So Wednesday the 30th is the drop-off and us having the afternoon, evening to sort and organize. And then the 31st, so that Thursday and Friday, will be the sales. So Thursday is pretty much all day. We've got some residents who are going to man the sale. We've got team members. And then that Friday we'll have the sale. That's August 1st from about 9:30 to 1. And then we're going to take the afternoon to assess what's left over, coordinate everything with Peninsula Rescue Mission so that we can... But, the trickiest part about this whole thing was finding the Chesapeake Room for 3 days. It was like, oh my gosh, that was almost next to impossible trying to, need that space because we have so many amazing things going on.
Yeah.
And we utilize that space for everything.
Yeah. Well, and but it also, the thing that I have to remind myself at times is there's been a couple times I'm like, ooh, we could move this to the Horizon Room because that is now
Sure. That's
opportunistic.
true. Yeah.
Explorer Room is a little more limited, but
Yeah.
at least Horizon Room, we can add up tables and chairs, and Horizon Room's bigger than the
Could
Explorer
be.
Room
It
for
is.
capacity.
Yes. It's a
So
nice space.
we are adding to our choices, which
I
is
love
good.
that. Yes. And we're going to be utilizing them for some future programming. So
Yeah.
it's good.
So speaking of projects and bases, you got a good update from us on the pavilion and the groundbreaking, and yes, the actual date will be August 4th, that week of, and containment fence and all this, but come to town hall, you'll learn more about that. Our 4B project, we're getting close to getting that kitchen opened up, hopefully early August. The kitchen will open up in healthcare so we can start that in the dining room, and then it'll be the activity space, and then the final steps. So we got like 3 big hurdles yet, but at least it's starting to be within our vision of a completion. So that's good. So anyways, just so you know what's going on there.
That's awesome.
Also, last week, resident council.
Yeah, that's right.
There's the annual process where resident council reps receive ideas from all of you. They generate them. They produce a list. Jim Lewis did a masterful job of creating like a ballot
Okay.
for them to read the description of here's what the project could be or the suggestion, and then the residents vote on it.
Oh.
Every single one of them. And then it's either, hey, we really believe that we should fund this next year in our capital budget, or it could be an operational budget issue.
Okay.
We don't think it's a priority, or we really would like for that to go on a wish list for a foundation gift,
Okay.
and let's promote it.
Okay.
And they spent a couple hours at the resident council meeting going through all these items, have a very thoughtful list. I think they have a good process of trying to listen to everyone, and I think that you'll be pleased with the items that they agreed to. There were a lot of landscaping ideas. I think there are like 7 different landscaping, and even though that doesn't meet the capital expenditure definition, it's something that Andy and I absolutely will incorporate in the operating budget.
Okay.
And can take care of some things. It's like, diminishing the some of the bushes and shrubs around the funny farm and improving visibility for
Okay,
safety.
sure.
Easy enough. Some of our beds need to be more thoughtful into azaleas and camellias and some other types of plantings than boxwoods. Okay, well, we replace things, we can easily do that.
Okay.
So just some good ideas, but a couple things yet for you and your team to be talking about, because they really didn't have, there wasn't a consensus amongst the resident council to create a rec room, which has been talked about for some time.
Yeah.
And they did not prioritize that. They really felt that what happens in the aerobics room, et cetera, is adequate.
Fills that void. Yeah.
But it's still something that I will turn, because Jim Lewis, and we all know that there are some things that we have to think a little bit more thoroughly about, and does it have any merit? What
Sure.
is management's perspective? So I'm going to really turn that one back to you and your team and say, what are your pros and cons? What is the second floor Hampton used for? Does it have any merit? We may not want to move a billiards table, but is there other things that might be in a rec space?
Okay.
So that's just an example, but just so you all know, it's a very good process that Jim led council through. It was thorough.
Okay.
But there are still certain things we have to think through. I think another one that they sort of put into our hands, and that is, where do we go with the wheelhouse lounge?
Right.
Because one idea was just take that partition down that's never been effectively used for adaptive devices
Right.
from the dining room.
Right.
And I said, well, if we're thinking about this, maybe we should go to the expense of looking at how we could access and put a load-bearing archway lintel and open up into Windjammer.
Yeah.
Is there any other space?
I think that'd be neat.
And then, or fundamentally, why do we sit and enjoy Wheelhouse, but we don't use the furniture as the same outside of the Clark's Cafe? Is it too bright? Is it that furniture is not as comfortable? Well, so we're talking through that. And then the final thing that I really wanted to work through was, where do we go with the cafe and the blue awning area?
Right.
Because the blue awning area came about quickly from COVID, creating more distancing space, 6-foot distancing, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Lifespire, like many organizations, received some funds. We used those funds here to build that.
Yeah.
We openly talked about funding it being fully enclosed.
Yeah.
And then you could get rid of that inside door
Mm-hmm.
and move the security door to the outside.
Yeah.
And then you could have an easy walk between the two, and it would all be the same conditioned space.
Yeah.
And how does that work? And then someone even brought up, well, what happens? So maybe in that space we put in a small little corner of it that's just a sofa and easy chair. So if you want to have coffee in there, you could, but then you still have some additional tables too.
Yeah, it's a little bit more cozy.
So I'm just sort of planting some seeds because you guys need to help me be creative.
Okay.
So you can start bouncing ideas
Sure.
off of your team
Mm-hmm.
and just saying, those spaces, it's nice that we've got everything renovated.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're coming back.
Yeah.
I brought to the attention that with Windjammer, we're going to have to probably replace that carpeting.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
starting to fray.
Sure.
I'm sensitive to the flooring between Mariners and
Mhm.
Regatta that we may have to replace. That's now 8-year-old carpeting, or will be. And that's about when you guys start looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Chesapeake Room is still in pretty good shape.
I think so, yeah.
And I think we were very fortunate with what was picked there. It
Mhm.
hides sins, but we still keep it clean. But
It's very
anyways, just
forgiving.
yeah. So it was good conversation. I'm just
Mhm.
taking you residents down the pathway. Feel confident resident council really did discuss your ideas.
That's good.
To us now, we got to help build out the true plan.
Mm-hmm.
Things that they had at high priority, we'll fund them.
Yeah, okay.
But there's a lot of
exciting.
discretion.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyways,
great.
hope that's helpful.
Definitely.
I know we've got a wonderful interview coming
my
up.
gosh,
So you're going to meet one of our
yes.
new special team
Mhm.
members, so can't wait to introduce you to her. So
Most
stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But I think we can sign off and
Think
say
so
until
as
next
well.
time.
Yep, we'll see you next time.
All right, thank you. Welcome back to our special part of the show, our interview. And today we are so fortunate to be interviewing Bria Pettit. Bria, you've joined us. You're with us now in our Cornerstone neighborhood. Welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Well, it is. It's a lot of fun for residents to get to know new team members. And even though I will honestly say to residents, this is the first time that we've been able to sit down and chat, I've been hearing a lot about you.
Have you?
So, and it's all positive.
Okay, good.
So that's the good news.
Yes.
So just so you know that your early presence with us is just making a difference. So
That's good to hear.
thank you from the beginning.
Thank you.
So speaking of which, why don't you go ahead and share with the residents a little bit about your background, and then we'll move more into your role here and what you're doing. So where are you from and a little bit about you.
Of course, my name is Bria. I've been an LPN for about 5 years, going on 5 years now. I actually was studying criminal justice at Old Dominion University way back in 2014 through 2018. And kind of in the middle of that, I kind of was going through some things. I think just that mid-20s, trying to decide what direction I wanted to go in. And I kind of just wanted to pause. And then that pause kind of ended up me having a daughter. And now I have a 6-year-old daughter named Skylar. And throughout the pregnancy and everything, I was around doctors, lots of nurses, and I spent a lot of time with them and a lot of conversations as I was trying to figure out what direction in life I wanted to take myself, especially while preparing to have a child and bring life into the world. I really wanted to think and prepare my mind and everything else around me for what was next for me. And in talking to the nurses and how dedicated they were to their jobs and their lives, and I felt like this was the direction that I wanted to go in. So I had my daughter. 2 months later, I went to the community college on the Eastern Shore where I'm from. And I sat and talked with she's like the specialist, the onboarding person that you go to if you ever want to just kind of explore the nursing career. And she talked to me about the program that they had there. I took like the entrance exams right away, and a month later I was enrolled.
Wow.
And probably that first month of just clinicals and skills, the first couple of weeks of clinical, whether you're in CNA school, LPN school, RN school, you're always going to be doing that basic ADL care. They're teaching you how to change linen with the resident in the bed. That is what made me say, okay, this is what I need to be doing.
Touching lives,
Yeah.
making a difference.
Absolutely.
Very fun. Well, that's a wonderful journey. And 6 years old daughter,
Yes.
Skylar. So you're proud of her,
I am.
obviously, as she's continuing. So what grade will she be entering this year?
So Skylar actually is homeschooled.
Okay.
She was born with Down syndrome. She was
Okay.
diagnosed at birth. And so I've chose to homeschool her, and so she's able to kind of learn in a way that she's able to
Yeah.
adapt to. And she's been really thriving with that. She has social groups that she's going to. She's been reading since she was a year and a half old.
Way to go.
She's amazing. She makes me want to continue to help people.
It's inspiring. And, you know, I've never really thought through this, but I can now think of several other team members, and it's probably more than I realized,
Yeah.
that have that special interest, that special child that they need to help in a supportive way.
Yeah.
And I can think of some team members, whether it's their children or a sibling. You know, sometimes it might be interesting just to let you all know who each other is,
Yeah.
because it's a shared passion.
Yes.
You've got a special life, and here you're just touched by it.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Well, very nice. So you joined us how long ago? How long have you been with us now?
I think it's been about 3 weeks now. I
So
think
time's
it's been about-
flying.
It's flying.
Yeah, I know you don't have your name tag on, but I saw it. You do
Yes.
have your blue ribbon.
I do have a blue
and you know,
ribbon.
we're ceremoniously, we have you wear that for 3 months.
Yes. I'm
You
very
know,
excited about that.
And then you get to take it off.
Yeah.
And then after you take it off, you're part of us, but
Yes.
you're doing great. So, Cornerstone.
Yes.
Why don't you what's your early impressions? You got residents, you're going to have people watching this who may have a loved one living there.
Yeah.
They may have had some visitation or knowledge. Cornerstone, in my humble opinion, is this gem that's concealed.
Yeah.
By its physical location, it's off the pathway, if you will. It does so much special things, but by the sheer design of it, it is a secure area. So why don't you sort of give us your early impressions about the neighborhood you're now a part of?
Yeah. So my first impression of Cornerstone here, Sarah, my program Cornerstone leader, she actually took me on a tour during my first interview here. And I've been in a few secured memory care units, and it's not always bright. The lights are usually low, not really like a welcoming environment. I remember walking into this Cornerstone and I was like, wow. The residents were smiling, there was family visiting, which I didn't really see in my past experience. I was actually blown away, and I can tell that Sarah has put in a lot of effort back there. It looks wonderful. I can tell that other people have put in effort and resources into making that place somewhere where they can be in a calm and safe environment. So I'm very excited to be a part of the Cornerstone and to make it even better than what it is now. I don't know how I'm going to make it any better than what it is now, because I think it's at a very high level that I've never seen before.
Well, but I think that's exciting though for you.
Yeah.
To have that insight and to be able to come and say, well, how can I help?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is, even though we often speak of it maybe being more of that social model, and to residents, you can have a social model, you can have a more medical model within that memory care environment. You still are caring for people, and Sarah is phenomenal, as she's also really embodied that with the other caregivers.
Yeah.
You now bringing your professionalism to assure that, yes, in addition to socially and the support of their lives, you're there to make sure medically. That's a pretty incredible responsibility. 16 people, and particularly with some that aren't going to tell you what's going on.
Absolutely.
And you have to sort of interpret it. So so just you bringing this higher level of help to us is going to be really good. So a neat neighborhood, Cornerstone is something important to us, and the fact that you guys are full, had a really busy time in your 3 weeks,
It's been very busy.
and I'm sure as residents can relate, and you can as well. When you have a transition, a resident leaving, a new resident coming, the house changes.
Yes.
What's been your input to that? You've perhaps witnessed a little bit of that.
A little bit of that. We have a few residents who had just recently moved in, and we're still kind of working. The staff had just been still working with them on that transition and the adjustment. And just in the 3 weeks, I can see from one of my residents how just the agitation increased throughout the day in my first couple of days, whereas now we're very relaxed throughout the day. We're able to have those one-on-ones, even participate in group activities that we weren't able to do 3 weeks ago. And along with medication management, I think a big part of that is the energy that we have in the Cornerstone. I think it's important that for all 3 shifts, all of our staff continues that same calm environment and really getting to know the residents. I think that's the key, and that's what I've really been working on the past 2 weeks, is trying to get to know them, their likes, their dislikes, so that I am able to identify when something is wrong. Because, like you said before, they may not let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I have been working really hard trying to get to know them and who they are.
Yeah, and I think the other interesting, because I can think back at one moment, I remember it was all women.
Yeah.
And then we had, I can think of one gentleman there, and as of late now, we have multiple men.
Yes.
Which is just, it's a change of the neighborhood.
Yes.
And, you know, I think you said a moment ago, and just, it is a delight to see the individuals, not just the residents living in the neighborhood, but how connected their family
Yes.
and involved. And, you know, you got those extra hands, you know, and whether they're coming and helping to do something out in the courtyard and water or do this or that,
Yes.
or they're just there for visitation. I could think of some people come in and help sing.
Yes.
I mean, there's just all types of things that you've got.
Absolutely.
So you've got not just 16 times blank is your big family.
Yeah, pretty much. And then even yesterday, I sat down with a resident's husband, and he actually lives in IL, and he sat down and told me about the time that when they got married, when they were 18 years old, 69 years ago. So
Yeah.
that was fulfilling for me. That's what I come to work for, is to hear
Yeah.
those stories, hear their backgrounds and where they come from. He also got a chance to tell me how the Chesapeake has been a resource for them. And, you know, when they first got here, they had moved into a cottage, and now she's in the Cornerstone and he's still there, and how that transition has been for him. And also, it was a moment for me to remind him that we're also here for him too,
Yeah.
because we have to be that support for the family as well. So I think I've done a good job of making sure the families know that I am present and I'm here for them. So
Yeah.
I hope they do know that.
Well, and I think it means so much for you to, you know, your response when you're caring for 16,
Yeah.
but I know in your nursing profession you realize you're also caring for and supporting that loved one.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they're going through a lot.
Absolutely.
And you're probably even keeping an eye on, hey, are you taking care of your health?
Absolutely.
So, great job. And you can't replace that one-on-one when you had that conversation with that spouse to better understand their story. I still come back to this, and I'm just barely understanding capabilities of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And seeing these companies develop, and everything we're reading, which is like artificial intelligence, like it is information coming out of a fire hose, so much on a daily basis, and just hearing a little bit more and more testimonials about what ChatGPT can do, etc. I'm just thinking about, wow, take what you heard, take that gentleman or that person, that spouse's story, and can it be printed so then all of a sudden other staff can read it,
Yeah.
and it's a quick narrative of, and it could be them just talking through, hey, this is a favorite picnic memory, and this favorite picnic memory comes into print. We read about it, Sarah reads about it, it's like, ooh, we can sort of duplicate this.
Yes.
Maybe it will touch their memory.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
just so much. I'm just excited to wait and see what all you all come up with.
Yeah.
Because it's not just you, it's Sarah. You know, we got Isaiah and Candace and all these brilliant minds. What can we do with
Yeah.
this new tool?
Absolutely.
Fun. In your neighborhood, we've done a lot of improvements. Still have one more we're still going to have to really think through and plan, and that is we want to improve that kitchen area. You know, and it's more just for the household. You know, we've gone through some furniture changes and other things. We have to keep checking that.
Yeah.
And the Solace room, if I'm
Solace. Yes.
Thank you. So with that space and Sarah and what she's done with that is a little different. You've got that sunroom in the back. You've got the overall activities area. We've had some transitioning from technologies. I think it's never too late is one that we're going to be stepping away from, if I remember. But you know, what are the brain technologies and what will we be using next? So you'll be a part of that.
Yeah,
But
sure.
also, just how do we continue to make it better? When the new healthcare kitchen opens up here in a few weeks, the intent is it will be providing the cooked order food coming just across the hall.
Okay.
Where right now, food's coming from the main kitchen.
Right.
It will be coming. Now, we still want to think further what else could occur within your kitchen space and the counter
Yes.
and the flow and the safety. So, still have a little more work. We have plans produced for that. It's around a $350,000
Ooh.
change.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out, is that going to happen next year? Is there some other way it's going to be accomplished? But that $350,000 is sort of the last frontier on this wall-to-wall renovation that we've been a part of for 8 years.
Yeah.
So just start to think about that. But we'll get to get
Absolutely.
you and Sarah involved in, because some of these plans were developed a couple years back before your time, and we need to respond. What do we want to do today?
Yeah.
Is
Kind
this
of
still
giving
good?
an update.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you'd think it through, and obviously, you're looking at that whole life experience, even though clinically, medications, their physical well-being, but nutrition, their life, that harmony.
Yeah.
You could contribute to that.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So when you're not working, and you obviously spend time with Skylar
I do.
and do that, any other hobbies, interests that you do or you're introducing to her?
Well, I guess it's okay for me to introduce to you guys. I've kind of, it's something that I've been doing my whole life, but I've never expressed to anyone. My parents know because I would do it in my room so they would hear. But I love to sing. I actually, a few years ago, built a in-home studio that no one ever sees other than myself because I'm too shy to let anyone hear anything that I ever have. But I'm trying to get into the habit of letting people know things that I enjoy to do, and that's one of the things I do every single day.
Now, do you like to produce? And
I
are
do.
you writing
I do.
your own words
Yes.
and creating your own?
Yes,
You know,
yes,
very
absolutely.
nice. Is there a type of music that you like? Where's your heart take
All genres, and that's, I think, what's unique is because I listen to all kinds of things. Your head would spin. All the different genres I do listen to. So
you? Yeah. Well, I would tell you, I admittedly way too often am looking at YouTube videos of America's Got Talent,
Yeah.
The Voice. I'm getting clips from Glee or
Yeah.
clips from Pitch Perfect,
I love
and I'm
those shows.
watching. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm down your alley. I just don't have any talent, so I'm watching them and
you'd be
just.
surprised what happens if you have like the full-on studio equipment. You'd be surprised what you can create.
Well, with artificial intelligence voice, they can make me better.
Maybe we'll try it out.
Yeah, real fine. Well, again, every once in a while I hear about other team members with a little, with talent, and I always keep on thinking, when's this talent show coming up? When could we get some people? Because what is good here, and I know Isaiah, he's a talent. So if you don't know, we got a singer right in our presence,
Ooh.
and so I could see a talent show duet. Oh my gosh, because this man, he sings, and the residents appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you know what's really cool about anything we do for our residents? It's like you're singing in front of your grandparents, your mom and dad.
Yes.
There is no judgment.
Yeah.
They just
enjoy
they
it.
enjoy it, and that's just that's the best performance when there's nerves. Then it's like
Yep.
no, they just
Go out the window.
whatever I do, it's good.
Yep.
So anyways, thanks for sharing that.
Of
But
course.
now we're going to be more curious.
Yeah.
Sometime if we have a team member
Maybe I'll
celebration.
get the nerve to let you hear something
Well, that
one
would
day.
be-
Maybe Isaiah will help me out.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Well, it's a delight having you part of the team.
Thank you.
And I know residents will enjoy seeing this. It will be available for them to learn more about. And, even though they don't visit perhaps, and again, as I say, it's sort of that neighborhood that's with us, but, not as trafficked. It's not as, we don't walk through it like we may assist living or other areas. For our residents to know that we have such competent leaders and professional nurse who has a passion, and just such a great joy having you with us.
Well, thank you. I'm really happy to be here, so thank you.
Alrighty. Well, until next time, hope you enjoyed this interview and meeting Bria. Thanks for being with us.